Welcome to the Dragon's Den. My name is Leo Drake and thank you for spending part of your day with me. Please consider subscribing as it is free and means you're out of this world. If you enjoy the video, click the like button and ring the notification bell to be notified when I post a new video. In this video, we are reviewing The Martian. I will be discussing the movie during this video, so consider this your one and only spoiler warning. So let's get to it. The Martian from 2015 is directed by Ridley Scott and based on the book by Andy Weir. It has a great and deep cast, including Matt Damon, Jessica Chastain, Sebastian Stan, Kristen Wiig, Sean Bean, Donald Glover, Benedict Wong, Kate Mara, and Chiwetel Ejiofor. The movie starts on Sol 18 on Mars, where the Ares-free landing site sees the crew gathering rock and soil samples from the surface. A large sandstorm approaches and Commander Lewis scrubs the mission, ordering everyone to leave the hab and get on board so they can take off before the storm arrives. During the journey, Mark Watney is struck by debris and disappears in the storm. His life signs flatline and Commander Lewis is forced to leave him behind. Mark wakes up on Sol 19, alone, wounded and unable to communicate with Earth.
Surprise!
Sol 21 sees the botanist Mark Watney planning for his survival. The next Ares mission is not for another 4 years, and he has only about 1 year's worth of food.
If the oxygenator breaks, I'm gonna suffocate. The water reclaimer breaks, I'll die of thirst. If the hab breaches, I'm just gonna kind of implode. And if by some miracle none of that happens, eventually I'm gonna run out of food.
On Sol 31, Mark plants potatoes inside the hab, creating water by repurposing hydrogen and oxygen. On Earth, Teddy Sanders, the director of NASA, speaks at Mark's funeral and deals with tough questions from the world's media. At the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas, Mindy Park at Mission Control checks the satellite images of Mars and realizes objects have been moved. Mark Watney is alive.
I'm not gonna die here.
Sol 70 sees Mark planning ahead to rendezvous with the next mission site in just under 4 years' time. Mark harvests his potatoes.
I colonized Mars.
And make a trip to the previous Pathfinder mission, hoping to communicate with NASA. Teddy Sanders has decided not to inform the crew on board the Hermes, returning to Earth, that Mark is still alive. This changes soon after Mark contacts NASA, and Commander Lewis blames herself for leaving him behind. Sol 134. One of the entrances to the hab loses pressure, killing the crops and sending Mark flying across the dunes of Mars.
Fuck you, Mars.
The change in circumstance means Mark can no longer survive until the next planned mission, so NASA scrambles to launch a rocket carrying supplies to Mars. Unfortunately, the rocket blows up shortly after launch and Mark's survival is hanging by a thread.
In the face of overwhelming odds, I'm left with only one option. I'm gonna have to science the shit out of this.
The Chinese space program has an answer to NASA's problem and agrees to share their technology. Rich Purnell comes up with an alternative idea to rescue Mark. He suggests the Hermes collects the probe from Earth before slingshotting around the planet and heading back to Mars, where it can intercept with Mark in the atmosphere just above the planet. It is a high-risk plan and means the Hermes crew will have to spend another 500 days in space. NASA can only choose one of the plans, either send the resupply probe or implement the Rich Purnell idea, because both require the Chinese technology. Teddy Sanders chooses the resupply, but the Hermes crew are informed of the facts and override the director.
Let's go get him.
The probe successfully docks with the Hermes and they are going back to Mars. Mark has survived alone on Mars for 7 months and is on Sol 461. He's understandably going a little crazy.
Mark Watney. space pirate.
Mark still has to undertake a long drive across Mars in the rover to reach the MAV that was airdropped for the Ares 4 mission. NASA discovers a new problem. The MAV is too heavy and will not allow Mark to climb high enough to engage with the Hermes. So they instruct Mark to remove any non-essential equipment from the MAV, including the controls, extra seats, top and front of the craft, to make it a convertible.
I want to send them into space under a tarp.
Sol 538, Mark comes in sight of the crater and his destination, where he gets to work repurposing the MAV for his liftoff from Mars. On Sol 561, with the whole world watching, Mark is launched into space in the retrofitted MAV and leaves Mars behind. Unfortunately, his altitude is too low, missing the Hermes altogether. Commander Lewis and the crew burn excess fuel to intercept Mark, but it means they are now going too fast.
Well, shit.
Due to complicated space science, the crew makes a bomb to decelerate in a bold move. The tension cranks up as Commander Lewis goes out the airlock to get Mark, but while they can see their crewmate, he is still too far away. Mark suggests puncturing a hole in his suit so he can use the escaping air as thrust in space.
I'd get to fly around like Iron Man.
The Hail Mary works as Commander Lewis retrieves Mark Watney and brings him safely back aboard the Hermes, which is heading for home.
I got it!
This has a feel of a disaster movie, a rescue movie, and a space opera, with moments of comedy, drama, and action. If you can overlook some of the risky space antics and just go along with the story, it is very tense and entertaining. Mark Watney is a funny, smart guy, and you do root for him to make it. This is one of Ridley Scott's better recent films, and I give The Martian 4 out of 5 stars. Thank you for watching. Let me know what film you would like me to review next in the comments down below. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, give it a like and share it. I'm looking to post a new video every Monday, so be sure to come back for that and click the link on screen to watch another of my videos. Until next time, rah!